Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So, unfortunately, it looks like we have lost all of yesterday's gains and we have fallen even more. And to me, this was expected. In fact, what happened yesterday was unexpected in terms of the market rallying up pretty decently after Fed Chair Powell announced a 75 basis point hike, which was not in line with expectations. Just a prior meeting, FOMC meeting, he said the next two rate hikes would be 50 basis points. Now he adjusted to 75, and he said the next one that's coming next month could also be a 75 basis point hike. That's 1.5% within a matter of 2 months. That's a lot. That's going to bring a lot of economic slowness. And that is why the markets are reacting today and coming to reality. Yesterday, I think there was a relief rally. I said it as much. I did not think that the markets was going to rally, but it did. But now we're seeing things come back to, I guess, reality. And you can see Dow Jones is below 30,000, the first time since very beginning of January. So that's 5 months ago, 6 months ago, and NASDAQ is still, tech is still being sold off, negative 400 points, and that's not good. As for Bitcoin, it has fallen as well. It has given up most of yesterday's gains. It is still hovering around $21,000, which is positive. I have more to share about that. But before I get to it, I did want to mention that, yeah, many people, including myself, are worried about all these rate hikes because it's going to bring so much economic slowness, which is what Powell is trying to do because he sees inflation being very high. And this is really the only thing he can do because he can't control the supply side. So he's trying to control demand side, which isn't as great as he thinks, but he's curbing demand, bringing it down. And many people like Wall Street veteran Mike Novogratz, who's a big Bitcoin bull. Galaxy Digital is his company. He has invested in many companies in crypto overall, but he thinks the economy is going to collapse and we're going to go into very fast recession, right? Most likely, when the GDP numbers come out for Q2, it will confirm that we are in recession. But if this continues on, Q3, Q4 numbers could be very bad, which is why yesterday I mentioned about how the last time the Fed raised its interest rates by 75 basis points, 7 months later, they had to decrease it, right? So are we on that same path? Well, it looks like we are because these rate hikes are starting to have a real toll on a lot of industries, housing, companies. I mean, it's starting to affect a lot of people. So, I mean, take a look at this. Biggest rate hike since 1994. Right now, many home buyers cannot afford their homes anymore. The 30-year mortgage is now 6.3%. So that's more than doubled than just from a few months ago. So you're looking at a 30-year mortgage that's pretty much doubled in price. And you are definitely seeing home listings now starting to cut their prices. Now, homes overall is still pretty strong from what I've been told by a couple of guys in the industry. They say that demand still outweighs supply, but how long will that last? What about if mortgages go to 7, 8, 9, 10%? Will demand still outstrip supply? It seems like that's not going to be the case, right? So mortgages are affected, people are affected, but of course companies are affected too. Today, cosmetic giant Revlon files for bankruptcy due to supply chain issues, debt, and overall demand. I mean, that's not good. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but of course, a lot of major companies have come out recently, have said that they're laying off employees anywhere from 5 to 20%. A lot of hiring freezes these days, offer withdrawals, right? So the economy is slowing down big time. Is it going to slow down too much? So not only do we enter recession, but maybe head into depression. I hope not. Depression is no joke, and I hope we never, ever enter into depression again. But right now, with the way Fed is going, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. Now, as for Bitcoin, well, Michael Saylor, Ultimate Bull, says he would consider buying more Bitcoin at these prices. Bitcoin is on sale. It definitely is. Any measurable metric, TA, will show you that Bitcoin is oversold on the weekly level, on the monthly level, daily level, right? And you look at Fibonacci levels, you look at previous support lines, moving averages. Bitcoin is on sale. And remember what all the famous investors, what they have said and done in the past, right? Like quotes like, buy when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own, or buy when others are fearful, right? That's the way to do it. If you believe in Bitcoin, I certainly do, but if you believe in Bitcoin and you believe into the alts that you hold on, what you do is continue to hodl and DCA along the way, right? You buy at the cheap prices, even though, yes, markets could go worse, can go down more, right? But right now, it's definitely a good buying opportunity because of the growing fundamentals for Bitcoin, right? And you still have a lot of data that shows that Bitcoin is still on track, right? And let's not forget that even though right now is as scary as some of the previous corrections or market bottoms, because right now the fear index is at 7. And I don't think we're going to drop below 7, but right now it's 7, yesterday 7. Even though it's scary as those previous bottoms or corrections, let me remind you guys that Bitcoin is still roughly 6 to 7x higher than the bottom in 2020. Remember that. March of 2020, Bitcoin fell down to 3,800. So even at 21,000, we're still approximately 6 to 7 times higher than that. So Bitcoin will continue to move forward. And you can see here, this is just pressing against the 200 weekly moving average. And 2018, 2020, and right now we're pressing against it. So this is one of those charts that does show that this is a great buying opportunity. And here's another one. This is actually from Fidelity. Fidelity is also very big into Bitcoin and crypto. And according to Fidelity, using the dormancy flow model, Bitcoin is as oversold right now as it was back in 2011. Back in 2011. So think about that. That's how oversold Bitcoin is right now, right? So bottom line is, when it comes to Bitcoin, you got to have patience. You got to hodl. And if you can, you go ahead and DCA. But as for the rest of the markets, as for the stock market, tech stocks, right? They could get much, much worse. Now, last two things just to give you a quick update on Celsius. Celsius did release a new FAQ, but if you look in it, all the important questions still not answered, right? What's going on? Why is withdrawal still disabled? What are you guys doing about it, right? Liquidity issues, right? And all those things still not answered. So this is still an ongoing issue. Last time I heard, there's rumblings about Tether providing a loan to Celsius. I don't know if that's going to fix it or not, but right now we are still waiting to see what Celsius says and what Alex says. Really, really vague statements at this point. And as for Three Arrows Capital, well, Zusu also says we're in the process of communicating with relevant parties and committed to working this out. Vague comment, but many people have put things together and thinks that Three Arrows Capital have been liquidated have been liquidated up to $400 million. So it's quite a lot, and they are in the process also possibly finding suitors to provide them more liquidity at this point. So both of these projects are in trouble, and again, it's just because of the situation we're in right now. Whenever things get scary, whenever there's major corrections, right, you tend to see the bad companies get weeded out. And in a way, if you think about it, that's good. The ones that should not have been in the market in the first place, or the ones that have very bad management or the ones that made really poor decisions, they are now being weeded out. And when the market comes up and recovers, we'll be better for it. All right, guys, that is it. Hopefully you stay strong. I will do another video or stream for you guys tonight, so make sure you tune in, smash it a like, and subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys later. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.